episode 2 of the IFM Podcast. I am your host with the most, Johnny J.
Yeah, okay.
Alongside, on my left, is
Jake.
the Snake. And to my right,
TJ.
TJ. And who is that I am looking at over there? The big sexy, the man with the plan.
The big
Who?
Sexy.
LEA.
LEA. No, you can't say
LEA.
that. Wait, stop. Cut it.
LEA.
No, that's Alex. That is Alex. Welcome to IFM Podcast. It's been a beautiful weekend. What'd you guys do? Jake?
I went outside.
Went outside. That's fucking boring. TJ.
Yeah, I went on a walk. It was
You know,
pretty nice.
TJ and I did the same thing. No, I think you did on Friday. But it's Friday. That's a weekend, right?
Sure.
We watched
Why not?
Endgame.
Yeah. Yeah.
We watched fucking Endgame. What'd you think of it, TJ?
You know, honestly, it was overhyped.
It was fucking overhyped.
It was
You know,
completely
let me
overhyped.
ask you. You watch Infinity War too?
Am I gonna hear a
Yeah.
hot take in a moment? Sorry, spoiler alert.
What the No, we're not spoiling it. We're not gonna.
Yeah,
we're
Donnie
gonna
Darko
spoil
dies.
Infinity War, but we're probably not gonna spoil Endgame.
Infinity War, yeah.
Which one did you think was the better half?
I feel like Endgame, there were a lot of things you could see coming. Like a lot of things. But Infinity War, there were less things you could see coming. So I would give it to Infinity.
See?
But Endgame was probably the better movie in
I
the
disagree.
rights where
sorry.
it's action-packed and there's things to look at, things to keep you
There
entertained.
was action in Infinity War.
Yeah, there was a lot, but I feel like there was just much more things in
Maybe Infinity
Endgame.
War was a little slower. I don't know. But yeah, no, I've come to the same. Infinity War was the better half of the two because what? Did someone say something?
I was just
I
agreeing.
thought
definitely.
Jake said something. Okay, no, because Thanos. Thanos is the one that made Infinity War. Without Thanos, it would just been another Avenger. It would have been like fucking. It would just been another Avenger with an unfair. Thanos made Infinity War because he was, in my opinion, the first time a Marvel film has had a multi-dimensional villain, in that he did not come off as this just pure evil, wanted to, destroy everything kind of guy. Like, yeah, he did want to. His goal was to kill half the universe. But when he did what he did, and I said this to Jake, what he did. He didn't. He made sure to state that he didn't take pleasure from it. Like, to him, he was just doing what had to be done, and the Avengers were just these obstacles that stood in his way. He didn't gain pleasure from killing them or anything. It was just something he felt he had to do. In fact, when he fights Tony Stark, there's actually he shows some honor. Remember, and he says, "I hope." Remember, and he says, "Alex, shut up." All right.
It was a good picture.
No, and remember when he says, "I hope they remember you." Because he respects him.
Yeah, that was a fight between two warriors. He saw it as.
Yes, and so he's this and he feels sadness when he has to throw Gamora off that cliff, and
Yeah, he was. They tried to portray him as a real
sympathetic.
Sympathetic.
And you get his backstory. And the way I look at it is Infinity War is the story of Thanos, and he's the protagonist. And in a way, the Avengers are the antagonists of that film. In that, I think of it as the story of Thanos and him collecting the Infinity Stones, and because he wins in the end.
Protagonist.
I'm saying if you look at it
From his point of view.
the protagonist doesn't mean they're good.
Yeah,
It just means
he's
they're the main
he's
character of the
yeah.
story, and so that's why you get so much. Endgame is more of the story of the Avengers, and how they are regrouping after the events of Infinity War.
Yeah.
And what happens, in my opinion, is that in
Make
doing
sure you
so,
don't spoil anything.
I'm not.
Oh, I've got it on the title. Don't worry.
Oh, we're
All
allowed
right.
to spoil?
It
Well, I'm
says
not gonna
Endgame
spoil anything
spoilers,
major.
3
Jake-
exclamation points in the title.
Nothing.
So
Okay.
nobody's
listen.
getting blindsided.
Listen. All right.
All right.
Listen. Here's the thing. So they make Thanos two-dimensional. Like, you see, there's a scene at the beginning of the movie where they kind of like, it's, well, never mind. I'm going to disregard that. But no, Thanos comes back and he says, he changes his plan. It goes from wanting to wipe out half of the universe to what he said. He's like I'm gonna destroy the universe and create a new one, is what he says. And
you mean after that was a little deeper into the movie. That wasn't at the beginning.
Yeah, no, that wasn't. I completely, because that would have been a major spoiler.
Yeah.
What happened at the beginning. But so yeah, in
But
doing so,
he definitely changed his outlook on everything. He
Yeah.
became more of the villain.
yeah, he
type.
he becomes this two-dimensional guy that just wants to destroy things for destruction's sake. And then he even changes his tune. He says, "Now I'm gonna take pleasure from that."
Exactly.
So it's like,
Says that?
yes.
It's cringy as fuck.
And it's like he says,
It's-
before what I was doing, there was nothing, I didn't, but now this is personal. And
Yeah.
and then it's like they just completely like robbed Thanos of what made him great. What made him a great
you
villain in
believe made him
Infinity
great.
War.
See,
Yeah.
Their whole concept of how they went about Thanos and how they've shown him at the beginning of the movie, and then how he came back through the middle. I don't want to throw away that big of a spoiler, but he did come back, and he was gone at a certain point. But I feel like when they brought him back, it was a completely different character. He didn't have the same things that made him who he was, as you were saying, like what made him the protagonist. I feel like he was very bland, like a 2D.
Yeah, it was bland.
you
He
nailed
just
that
kind
right
of
on.
served as like something for the Avengers to fight.
Exactly. It turned into more of just the whole movie was just a throw to the Avengers, just to make them.
And it ended the series, at least that
So
arc.
you're saying that cape shit is indeed cape shit.
Marvel films, as they stand now, are just I don't like them.
I like a
as a
few
general.
Marvel's
I mean,
movies.
I liked Infinity War. I thought that was a good movie because Infinity War, threw some surprises in the superhero genre. Endgame, it was just. It's not
It
even
was a basic
it's not even a
action hero,
standalone movie.
Action superhero movie.
It was just generic. They try to make it seem deeper, but it wasn't. Like it was so shallow. But they tried it. They wanted you to think this
there
was
was a
some
lot of there was
deep
a few
thing.
like really forced things. One scene that got me heated.
What?
It was during a fight.
Oh, I think you mentioned this.
Yeah, it was during a fight, and everybody's in different parts, like fighting their own people. Like they're doing their own shit, right?
Yeah.
One scene in the middle of all these fighting, they decide to take every single like main character woman from anywhere,
Female character.
any female character.
Mm-hmm.
They all put them in one spot, and then gave them some like super forced feminist, like let's do this girl power,
Yeah.
and then went on to just like as if it were no
Right.
planning, like.
I mean, I when it happened,
was
like
very
I didn't know what
forced.
was going on until first you had to. You told me that scene happened before the movie, and then I
I'm
saw it,
sorry.
and like it wasn't a spoiler. It's just
Yeah.
like I realized what was going on because like one of the main characters is going to go in, and then one of the male main characters says, "How are you going to get through all of that?" And then some of the female leads come in. They're, "Oh, she's going to have help," and all the female characters come up together, and like even though they. They don't even. I don't even think they do anything. Like, cause, well, yeah. Like, I mean, it wasn't that. Did it really detract from the film? Like, was it
No,
like?
it didn't. That one, it put me off.
Really?
I was watching the movie, I was enjoying.
hate girl
it,
power?
I was just like, why'd you guys have to force this so hard?
I
Like,
thought it was
why-
rather subtle. I thought it was. I mean, like, you would have just seen it as like a bunch of characters in the like if it was a bunch of guys that did it. Like if it was like Captain America, who was like. What?
Sorry. Just had to get something on it.
All right. Well, I'm just saying, if it was like Captain America that came up and say, he's like, and one of the characters was like, "How are you going to get through all?"
Like the beginning of the movie, I didn't see it. So I was talking with somebody. Wasn't the beginning of the movie like Captain Marvel's like, oh, like everyone's like, oh, we can't defeat Thanos, and then Captain Marvel's like, well, you didn't have me, and then like
Yeah, she said
Thor
that.
like, just like, I like this woman. Like I don't know. Is that
He said it. I think she wasn't intimidated when he drew his axe or something.
Yeah, it
you
was
see it
something
in the
along those
trailer.
lines.
What
Strong
happened?
woman.
Like he put up his arm, and the axe or the hammer went past her face, and like she didn't flinch. And then Thor's like,
very badass?
I like this one.
I mean, yeah.
Dude, women are so badass.
I didn't think anything. I mean, Captain. If I think it was in the like Chris Hemsworth, the actual actor, was saying that Brie Larson was actually terrible to work with. She was he did not like. In fact, a lot of the Avengers cast didn't like working with her.
Why?
She was a pain or something. I don't know. I think she was just
Oh.
hard to work with or something. She has no ass. Do you know that?
That's why she's bad to
That's
work
probably
with.
She
why.
has no ass, dude.
She's just mad that she doesn't have an ass.
Spider-Man though, dude. Look at that kid. That kid's got a wagon. And Captain America, that's America's ass.
That's America's ass.
That was the funniest line in the movie. I actually laughed at that one. I don't really laugh at but no, and like I feel DC's going the same way.
Are there any good superhero movies? No.
Probably some. Again, M. Night Shyamalan tried. He
I liked Batman movies. A couple.
those were good. Those
couple
are
of
probably
Batmans,
untouchable.
yeah.
those were probably the peak of all. But I mean,
Nothing
Batman.
will ever.
Well, I didn't. They weren't superhero movies. I don't like. They were different kind. They were a different kind of movie, with the kind of like with like kind of like the skin pack, with a Batman skin on it.
You talk about the Batman movies.
Yes.
It was just
And they were great movies. Don't get me
You
wrong.
telling me it had a plot like
Like there wasn't.
It was a movie made and they just threw Batman.
Well, I'm not saying they threw it in it.
You think it can stand up on its own, like other than just a Batman movie?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And it was a great movie, and I think that throwing the Batman skin on it added to the movie.
I mean,
Because it showed a different kind of aspect
of
of superheroes that people had never typically seen before.
Yeah.
Now,
You don't see that now. Well, Endgame, they were trying to be funny with a bit of it, right?
yeah,
I laughed maybe 3 times out loud.
yeah.
2 of them were from people in the audience making a joke out loud.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how I saw
Was it the
Endgame.
America's ass one from the
No,
movie?
I mean, I laughed at that part too. I think that may have been the couple of times I really laughed. But there was a part where somebody was disappearing, right?
Uh-huh.
And somebody behind me was like, "I don't feel so good," and then everybody else just started laughing. I couldn't handle it. That was really funny.
There was a guy that fell asleep. In case you're wondering how great an Endgame was, there was a guy in the theater that fell asleep.
3 hours long.
It
is
is.
very long.
It is.
In that theater.
I took a piss. There. It was the Thor scene where they're going back to where he's from.
Yeah.
That was so boring.
I'm sure you didn't miss anything.
I didn't. The Thor movies are so terrible.
One part I liked, the Australian rock dude. I loved him from
Oh,
Infinity
him.
War.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, he was.
Or
funny.
was it Infinity War?
He was in
or
Ragnarok.
Yeah,
He was originally in
yeah.
Ragnarok, and then they brought him back for Endgame. Oh yeah, there's a Fortnite where they play Fortnite in the game.
Oh yeah, Fortnite was.
Yeah, Fortnite isn't in.
The Rock
All
guy
you
was
can,
playing
you can
Fortnite.
spoil it now because I won't watch it.
Wait, what?
Wait, you're telling me?
Yeah, there's a scene.
The Big Rock.
One of the characters. Well, don't say that. One of the characters is playing Fortnite.
We are truly in the end times. We are truly in the end.
Endgame.
In Avengers Endgame, there was a scene.
Yeah, one of the characters is playing
What?
Fortnite.
Yeah, they're
This
playing
is-
Fortnite, and one of the.
I refuse
actually,
to watch it.
I'll spoil the whole. Scene.
I will not watch it.
No,
The
don't.
Austra-
No,
it's fine.
don't.
It's fine. It doesn't
Wait,
spoil
let me
anything.
guess. Let me guess. Tony Stark snaps his fingers and snaps Thanos.
Yeah.
Well, everyone knew that.
No,
Is anybody shocked?
no, but the Rock guy was playing Fortnite, and there was some kid.
Well, I don't
like,
think they
New
know who the
Player
Rock guy is,
69
so.
or something. And
Yeah, New
the
Player
whole,
69.
it was a cringy joke. The whole joke was the Rock guy was getting made fun of on Fortnite.
Yeah, the kid
So
called
Thor
him.
came up like, "I'm Thor. I will fucking come to your house and end you, and I will smite you with lightning."
Yeah,
You knew
it was a
that
really
Hunter-
cringy joke.
That's
It was a super
actually
cringy
retarded.
joke.
It was a cringy joke.
It was like,
Oh my
ugh.
goodness, it's uploaded on YouTube.
It's real.
What, the scene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
is
no,
there any
see-
sound?
Probably not. But
there's
yeah,
no
that's
sound
the
on
guy.
it.
Yeah, see, they're
Yeah,
playing
there it is,
Fortnite.
yeah.
Jake, look.
Jake.
Hold on, wait. Go back, Alex. Go back. Show it.
We're gonna ask Jason Momoa.
See, look. Oh, hold on, wait. Yeah, see, blue guy. He's playing
What
Fortnite.
the
yeah.
Yeah, Fortnite.
We are truly in Endgame. This is like
and then
Yeah, no.
this
he
movie
gets on mic and
made
then,
$1
yeah.
billion, and it has
No, Captain
Thor
Marvel made
playing-
$1 billion. I think this. Well,
1.2 billion so far.
yeah. Well, I think this is on pace to break that Captain Marvel's.
I think it's gonna make a lot of
Captain
money.
Marvel didn't make.
I think how much money?
Well,
did
it
make already?
was successful. It was a
But
successful movie. It's gonna get a
this-
sequel. The Captain Marvel.
How much before we get the number out there? How much do you guys think it's made already?
It's made 1.2 billion.
It's
I
not.
don't
It's
know.
already the
1.2
number one. It's
billion?
probably
I
gonna be
didn't
the
know.
number one biggest
didn't
movie
get
in
the
history
info.
from a revenue standpoint.
1.2 billion. When was
Yeah,
that?
as of 1 day ago, it says 1.2 billion.
That's a lot of money.
This
How
movie.
much money went into it making it?
600 million or something.
This is the biggest movie to ever
500.
come out
Is
in
it?
history. Revenue wise,
Or-
this is it. This is the biggest.
If you adjust for inflation, I think
Gone with the
Titanic-
Wind still like it takes it.
No, like I think Titanic might have, or one of the old Star Wars movies.
No, I thought this broke it.
I'm saying if you adjust for inflation. Obviously, because of inflation, this is going to be the biggest.
Okay, but I only paid $5 for my ticket, so I kind of won in the end.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, you guys. Alex, I know is not going to watch it at all.
No.
But yeah. So no, I was at the gym. I'm not going to tell the deadlift story where I broke my back because you've all heard it to death.
Oh,
But I did break my back.
Oh yes, you broke your back.
Well, I can walk, but I did break it.
No, it's broken.
But no, guys. So I went on there during the weekend. There was nobody there, so I didn't have much. You saw some big guys. You saw some regular guys. You didn't think anything. I went today, work day, afternoon, when everyone's back from work. It was packed. Guys, this is Powerhouse Gym. I was used to going to the YMCA. They're fucking retirees and like 8-year-old kids running around. Yeah, I was like the upper percentile of like strength there at the YMCA. I was like dude. Powerhouse, I was the little bitch. All right,
That's right.
Dude, the fucking women there were bigger than me.
There's
I was
What
fucking
does that say about
scared.
you, John?
yeah, no, they John, bulk season.
Oh my God.
Eat another slice of pizza.
No.
Drink the ranch.
No,
ranch,
no,
John.
but these were
430 calories.
guys. These were like every single one of them was a bodybuilder, power lifter. I was scared. I was intimidated. I was
John,
like, "What the
John,
fuck am I doing
you know,
here?"
You know all those guys that are huge, right?
Yeah.
You know
They're doing steroids.
the secret, right?
They drink
Steroids?
ranch.
Steroid.
No, I mean you can get naturally. Just don't discount people like that. Don't discount. Just because that's a big guy, he does steroids.
There are a lot of natural
I mean,
big
yeah,
guys,
He is a
but-
big guy.
Well, they're not like impossibly big. They're muscular. They have. What are you trying to say that anybody who has any like musculature at all
That's not
is
what I
taking
said.
steroids?
I'm saying like the guys that are not just huge, but huge and lean. They're doing steroids.
Really? You think so?
There's a certain weight. It's somewhere, I forget exactly. It's somewhere around about
I don't know.
190, somewhere in like maybe 210, 220 pounds, where like that is like the maximum if you're like a normal height, maybe somewhere maybe from 5 foot somewhere to maybe up to like 6'5" or something. Like it's somewhere around 200 pounds, I think, where like if that's like the maximum amount you can be like lean and natural. And like past
500 pounds, or what was the poundage? You said?
200.
Oh, 200.
Somewhere around
I'm
200
sorry.
pounds.
Why did I think 5? I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe they can lift 500.
Somewhere around there. It depends on the person, but there's somewhere around there roughly where it's like you can't go past that naturally. And so when you see I was just saying when you see the huge guys that they're not just huge, but they're also you're seeing veins everywhere. They have a 6-pack. Like that is steroids.
Yeah, no, there's this. Yeah. Okay. Maybe. I don't.
Most
Listen. I don't ask them. I assume at that point, like this is a lifestyle to them. Like this is the life
has
they've
to be.
chosen to live.
Yeah.
Like you don't do
I'm not saying it's a bad
steroids
thing.
casually.
If I had the money, I would.
Really, you do? Your
Oh,
balls
yeah.
would shrink. Jake.
Yeah, but you just take testosterone for the rest of your life.
Really?
Oh yeah.
If you're
very
loaded, it doesn't
convenient.
matter.
Dependent? Really? I like honestly
like
at
Sylvester
that point.
Sylvester Stallone is like 70 something. He's just been on testosterone his whole life, so he's freaking 70 and he's ripped as fuck, and he's like doing,
I don't know, like-
he's doing weighted pull-ups with like 100 pounds or something. when
Yeah,
he's
but
70.
my question.
think
Well,
he
at that
does
point,
that
that's his
still?
lifestyle. Like that's his. Like I mean,
I'm
I
saying
go.
the only reason
I
you
go to
can-
the gym to get like a better physique and maybe attract
Yeah.
more girls. Like
Okay.
increase my my appearance to them. But like this isn't like my life. Like I'm not dedicating my life to bodybuilding and power
No, I'm just saying
building.
if you had the money, there's to me might as well.
Because then it's like you're forming a dependence on a drug, and then like I wouldn't. That's
But you can be huge.
well, I don't. Again,
You
like
can be ripped.
the thing about okay, like listen. She doesn't care how much you go to the gym. She just cares that you go to the gym and you're improving yourself. I mean, like
Who's this girl?
any girl, like most girls, unless
It's not
she
for girls,
she
John.
herself is a power builder /
I'm looking
bodybuilder.
juicy so I can achieve the Greek god status.
I mean, listen, even the Greek gods, like they're lean and muscular. They're not the fucking muscles on muscles. Like look at Mercury, look at Hermes. Like they're not fucking.
No, when you see like the Greek statues, like no, those guys are definitely juicing. No, no, I mean, no. I'm
that's
saying
divine intervention, Jake.
Is, like, yeah, no, like
Divine juice.
no, like if you want, no. Here's the problem. Like we're limited by
Jake,
biology,
you've been losing a little weight a little quicker than I thought. You've been gaining muscle a little quicker than I thought too. What's going on over there, Jake?
I don't have the money for it.
Oh, okay. And your hair's been thinning. Isn't that a symptom of steroid use?
That's a
Ooh.
symptom of aging.
No, Alex, look it up. Symptom
Jake.
of hair.
Yeah, no, it
Steroids,
is.
hair loss.
It's real. Yeah.
Uh-oh, Jake.
You wanna
Oh,
feel my
Uh-oh.
balls? See if
whoa,
they're still
Jake.
tiny?
Whoa, Jake. You're getting a little defensive there. Getting a little defensive.
Just
simmer.
asking. It's a
Oh,
simple
oh, shit. Oh, shit, Jake. Wait, Jake, sit down. Sit down.
hey, I'm
Okay, Jake. Listen. All right. Okay, no, Jake's not doing steroids. But I don't know if I would. Would you do steroids, TJ?
Probably not. I
Rom-
mean, I try to go at it all natural, but I wouldn't want all the implications that come with doing steroids and things that I wouldn't like necessarily see coming.
If you're loaded, it doesn't matter.
Alex, how about you?
I'm not
steroids?
loaded.
I don't fancy taking testosterone for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And,
idea
like
very
that was a
much.
big thing. Like if I have to be dependent on
here's
something
the
for the
thi-
rest
here's
of my
the thing,
life.
Here's the thing. You're gonna. I mean, like it's gonna drop off once you're 30.
You get
anyways.
hormone replacement therapy.
Yeah,
Oh, that
that's
is- yeah, that is- yeah,
this is the hormone.
Well, no,
replacement
no,
therapy.
you don't need to. Okay, no, I'm sorry. It drops off, but if you go to the gym, eat healthy, I mean, like it's not that drastic.
You can reduce the.
I mean,
impact, but
again, you want to form a dependence on. If you want to form a dependence on a drug, be my guest.
testosterone.
You're taking a drug. You're taking hormone, steroids, like it's drugs.
My body isn't producing it, or
Well, it is producing it. It's not
my body
producing.
will produce less of it. So
I mean, that's natural though. Like you're trying to
Who said
alter the
natural is good.
What,
like
it's good that your body isn't producing it, so you want to take more.
Do you want to have the body of a woman when you're 50? Like
I've seen 50-year-olds at the gym. I mean, unless you're accusing them, I guess at any point, like I see a 50-year-old, he's
if
taking.
there's a 50-year-old at the gym that's ripped, and like not like
No,
they're
that's
ripped,
not
but they're also
necessarily.
they still have size, then they're probably doing hormone replacement therapy.
Or they lead a healthy lifestyle and have a good diet.
I said specifically that they're ripped and they're still big. At
Well, I can't state. I don't know exactly what the difference
Is it-
between
like, I see
ripped
guys
and being
that-
a good. I mean, I saw this
I'm
older
saying
guy.
like there's
Big
still,
muscles,
Like you're
like-
seeing you're seeing vascularity, you're seeing muscle separation, but they still have size. You know, like there's still like it's not just that they're like a lot of people they'll you'll see muscle separation, you'll see veins, the vascular, but it's because they're just lean, so they'll be kind of smaller. And then there's some guys that are really big, huge muscles, but they don't have vascularity because they have fat. The ones that are taking steroids are the ones that are not only huge, but they also are lean. They have they don't have fat. They just have pure muscle. Or not pure muscle, but-
Again, I don't know. You can go to Powerhouse with me, and you can point them out to me, and then we can get into a bunch
There's
of
ways
fist.
you can tell.
We can get
It's
into
like-
a bunch of fist
if-
fights
like,
because
if
we're
you see-
accusing
if
these.
if you see stretch marks,
Yeah.
steroids most likely. If you see too much, if you see excessive acne, like back acne, chest acne.
They look pretty clear skinned to me.
If you see the big things like delts, calves, like those are hard to build naturally. And
Well, at
so-
that age or just
in
overall?
general.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you see guys just like huge delts, most likely steroids. It's just because it's so hard to build those. So if you see guys with huge delts, then
I mean, some people want the easy way out, I guess. I mean, I don't understand. The people are just so, like, at that point, like, I mean, I understand, like, if it's like you've lost so much testosterone, it's a problem, and it's not. But like, like your testosterone production is supposed to decline as you get older.
I don't want to put myself in a position where it's
if it's like abnormal, like drastically go to, then yeah, okay, I understand taking to supplement, like,
yeah.
but like to just for the purpose of getting bigger, like, what's it all for? Like, I
so
mean,
I can look like a Greek god.
see that
but
goes
like,
with the
let's
materialism.
say
Trying
you're
to
doing
attract
that.
compliments from other bodybuilding men is what you're saying.
I mean, like, it's just like
It
that's
just-
just
it's just
it
so
reeks
much-
of insecurity to me. It's like,
In a way, yeah. I mean, yeah, I can't really disagree with it. Disagree with that. I mean, it's just like, I think I told you about this, John. Like, they had the study. They had one group of men go to the gym and like I would assume eat like a healthy
yeah,
diet.
you told me.
Yeah. Go to the gym. I don't know if this is probably maybe we're repeating this from the first podcast. I don't remember. But just so yeah, you had one group go to the gym, work out hard, do a diet, whatever. Then you had one group not go to the gym at all and just take steroids. And the people that stayed at home and took steroids had more muscle growth than the people that worked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's the easy way out for a reason. But I mean, like, there's just more. Like, it's kind of like you see these kids who drive these nice cars that their parents bought them. They don't know like the value of what they have.
No, I get what you're saying.
Like,
I mean,
once if you've worked for it, then
it's just like I mean, I don't know with bodybuilding or lifting, it's like the reason why you lift weights is to get your body to build muscle.
uh-huh.
And it's like you can do that by tearing the muscle and training it, or you could just inject hormones.
Yeah, I mean that's just the easy way. I mean, like, a lot of bodybuilding isn't so like if you speak to these guys, it's not just the act of getting bigger, but building self-discipline, not just physical strength but mental strength. And that's like when you see a guy who's that or muscular, and you think, wow, like like the part of the reason that's so like attractive to people and people like look at it and admire it is like the discipline it took, the amount of work
they went
yeah,
into
the
it.
amount of work they. I mean, like,
Yeah.
and that's what you're like. Oh wow, like that didn't just come easy.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, you can do steroids. Maybe you'll get that. Maybe the layman will see it and be like, "Wow, that's cool." But like,
If
you
take
know,
steroids, you will have more muscle.
okay. I'm not. I didn't dispute that. I'm just saying that, like,
Like you like the simple fact is like you have two people that are roughly identical. The person that's taking steroids will always have a better or have easier time building muscle and
I know.
getting stronger.
I know. And like, I had this crush on this. Well, I still have this crush on the attendant at the gym, and She's a cutie pie.
Oh, yeah.
She was the one that fucking introduced me. Well, she gave me my card when I first came into that gym because I went to the YMCA originally. Too many old people. I think you need attractive women in your gym.
Why?
You do. They make you. It's a good thing to have a muse. Do you know what a muse is?
A muse?
M-U-S-E.
A moose.
Yeah, that's
A
muse.
muse is someone who
Muse.
drives you to be stronger and stuff.
Huh? That's not what
They
that's not what
encourage-
happens when I'm at the gym and there's girls there.
Oh no! Like listen, you
What?
especially if there are other more attractive guys who are bigger. Those girls are looking at
That's
them.
insecurity.
Wait,
Well,
so
I mean,
what do
yeah,
you mean with
hey,
you, Jake?
Eddie, you're not wrong.
What?
Well, what, there's the girls around you. That's not how you feel.
I would prefer
Ugly girls?
I prefer no girls.
Nah.
I
I
can
need.
focus on lifting
Other
heavy
men?
objects. Not
That's why I do too. But there's a reason I'm there. There's a reason I come in there.
To
I'm
better
not-
yourself.
well, to better myself to get girls.
pedestal.
I mean, maybe you can make that claim, but I do want pussy. We all. It's a
It's just a
primal
part
urge.
of life.
It's a primal urge.
It's a pro-
It's a primal urge, And I mean, listen, I know, if you're not happy with where you are, I think there's this fine balance between insecurity and self-improvement, and all self-improvement. Oh, you got somewhere to be, Jake? So you're looking at your watch. All self-improvement at the very base level is driven by some kind of insecurity. Like, there's a reason you're going to the gym, Jake. There's a reason Alex is going to the gym.
Yeah,
you
so
guys
I can
are
get boulders on my shoulders.
all right. Yeah, I mean, at some point, you guys are not secure with where you are now. There is a hint of insecurity, and so you want to improve yourself. So you can be secure with who you are, and you can be confident.
Like I'm secure. Like I'll take my shirt off. I'll fight you with my shirt off. I'm not insecure about it.
Oh, okay, I'm just
But
saying.
I know I can be better.
Okay, what I'm saying is that the first key is not being happy with where you are now, and that is why people improve. If you're content with where you are now, if you looked in the mirror and were happy with what you saw, you'd be like, oh, why do I need to go to the gym? If you're healthy and happy, you wouldn't. But because you're not happy with it, you want to improve, you go to the gym. And there's insecurity. Oh, with a lot of things, you want to take it in moderation. So insecurity is bad if it consumes you. You don't talk to that girl because you're so insecure. You don't apply for that job because you're so insecure. You don't talk to this guy or ask for directions because you're so anxious and scared and all that. And you're always walking around thinking people are looking at you at whatever you have. That's too much. But there's a reason we have it. Evolutionary. There's a reason. We have that the feeling of being insecure because it drives us to want to improve ourselves. We're not happy with this and we want to change it. It's change. People are afraid of it, but change is good a lot of the times. And if we didn't want to change, then we'd all stagnate. So I think in a way, sometimes it's good to be insecure.
All right.
I'll open it to the floor. Alex, thoughts? Disagree? Agree?
It's good to be insecure.
Well,
I don't
mean,
know
you
if-
heard my whole spiel.
John,
What
but
do you
you're
think?
saying insecure.
He's
I
believes
don't think insecure necessarily. Or what was I gonna say? I don't think that contentment. No, how do I say this? I don't think ambition means you're insecure.
Well, I think. Listen, what
I
I'm
think you
trying to
can-
say.
I think you can be basically secure, but you can still have ambition.
What I'm trying to say is there is
insecurity is a driving force.
there's a reason
Well, it can be.
biologically people feel insecure. Everyone feels insecure at some
Yeah.
point in their life, unless Jake is now going to tell me he's never felt insecure in his life.
I'm not saying that.
There's a reason at some point, and there's a reason we have it. If not, then it would have been evolution. It would have been gone. We would never have felt it, and the only people it would be a freak mutation. We all there's some part of us we're unhappy with, and if someone pointed it out, we wouldn't be happy with it. Whatever it is. Maybe you're too skinny, maybe you're too fat, and you want to change that. I'm saying that base drive to want to improve is kickstarted by insecurity. And this idea, if you were I honestly, I have a hard time understanding what Jake is because he's I can be secure with myself, but still want to improve. If you're secure and confident, then
Yeah, that's just a different scenario. What you're saying can be true for a lot of people, but for Jake, that's not how it is. So
Well, I'm not saying that's specifically to me. I'm just saying I think. No, I don't think there's tons of secure and successful people out there that are still doing more things just because they
Yeah.
like to do it.
yeah, I'm saying it's a different scenario.
I'm
It's
not-
just-
challenge.
It's out of
A
ambition.
challenge. I don't think taking on a challenge
It's not out of
means you're
insecurity.
okay.
It's a different
I think that's a different. I think we're
Yeah, I'm saying you're talking about two different.
okay,
things.
that's one thing. They're trying to achieve a challenge. That's one thing, but this is so I'm talking about strictly in the realm of self improvement. And that when an overweight or skinny guy goes to the gym and wants to improve themselves, actively improve themselves, I mean, yeah. I mean, I understand what you're saying, and that some people see it as a challenge and want to, maybe I can make an argument that in itself is insecurity because they feel the need to constantly prove themselves to either themselves or someone else to prove what they're truly capable of. And but I think we're talking about two different scenarios.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's
yeah.
change topics.
Change topics.
Yeah.
All right, Jake. You think of anything? You got the laptop there. You see anything? What's
That's right.
what's happening in the world,
has
Jake?
been reading.
Nothing's happening, John. It's
Nothing
all
ever happens.
very boring.
Really?
Nope.
No, it's not boring. It's just not exciting. No, I'm kidding. What, you want to talk about the news? We got the synagogue shooting.
We had the synagogue shooting. What
When did this happen?
this it was 2 days ago or something.
2 days ago?
There was a kid. It was a 19-year-old. I don't know
Okay.
what his
Yeah.
fucking motivations were. He went up. Not that many people were. I don't know. You probably didn't hear that much on the news because
I didn't hear
only
about
one
it.
person was killed. 3 people were injured. And this just fuels. There's hate in the world, man.
Yeah, there's fucking terrible shit.
People hate people, and they just want to kill each other. And
Did he
thinking,
do it out of like a hate? Was it a hate
I don't
crime?
know.
Was he a
Listen.
part of some
Hey, well,
terrorist?
If
Well,
you
what-
fucking target a synagogue to shoot Jews,
it was
I
definitely a
hate
hate
breaks.
crime,
so
but like, was he part of a group?
It's funny
Was it-
about hate crime. It's like, okay, so like the typical scenario is, like at least in America, like typical scenario is like, I don't know, a white guy, beats up a black guy or something. It's a hate crime. It's like, or and like maybe.
Well, that's not the
shoots him.
qualification for a hate crime. Hate crime takes into account motivation.
Well, so here's the thing. Okay, let's say they're the same race.
Okay.
Like, if you kill somebody, do you not hate them? Like,
Well, I think that's a very.
or what if it's not about race? It just happens to be a white guy that kills a black guy. Like, okay, maybe he doesn't.
Isn't the
Like,
whole
how are you supposed to
thing-
know if he's racist or not?
Well,
I mean, he still hates him.
I think a lot of
regardless.
these people have been like. It's been very clear they've
Yeah,
been
it's
racist.
Like, it's
Like-
called a hate crime because they.
Like,
they
I
No,
think-
I
know
get why
that
it is, but it's just like it doesn't really make sense. Like, I mean, it doesn't make a sense in the way like, oh, this is a hate crime, but like, isn't any sort of violent crime a hate crime?
Well, that
You're saying it's about the group.
I think this is kind of sophistry, but like all these like times that people have been accused of hate crime, like this New Zealand guy, he literally wrote a manifesto.
yeah, the way I see a hate crime
they're
is
always
they've in the past or before or while doing it, they've
Uh-huh.
made it clear that that's their reason.
Yeah,
Like,
and-
that's why they're doing it.
You look at this Dylan Roof guy. He made it clear he did not like black people. Maybe Elliot Rodgers. You could maybe make a case that was a hate crime. And that
I'm
like
pretty sure it was.
yeah. But I don't think it was classified as a hate crime. But you could make a case it was. Like I don't like a white guy killing a black guy unless like this guy was like
Unless
a known
this guy was saying, hey,
white nationalist.
I hate you because you're black, or he's done stuff in the past that would portray him as that type of person.
Yeah, and typically, because you can't charge someone unless you have bulletproof evidence.
Yeah.
You can't charge someone with a hate crime. And like two black guys killing each other.
I guess from a criminal standpoint, I don't see why it should be any different than. Like, the problem is not that they hate the person. The problem is that they committed a crime.
Yeah.
It is not illegal to hate somebody for
It's
their
a
race
problem
or
when
their
they
religion
act
or
on that
whatever.
hate.
I mean,
Well,
yeah, you're
it
right.
doesn't like. I guess what I'm saying is like, at least from a criminal standpoint, it shouldn't matter what your if you hate the group or not. It matters
Like you
what
did something bad.
crime you committed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're
I
right.
mean, it's
but,
still
I
like
mean,
that. It's not
I like. I don't like. Okay, yeah, you're right, but what? So should we get rid of like hate crime laws?
Yeah, but
like,
you
is
just
there
call
a
it
problem?
hate crime.
I just
Doesn't
think
mean
it's-
the fact that
I don't get the point of having it. What's the point?
I mean,
Like, murder is legal whether if you don't
I
hate somebody,
think if
why
you look
murder
at it
them?
for record keeping purposes,
yeah,
like
exactly.
if you like knowing
Okay, all right.
knowing hate crimes, like lets you know.
Well, but you can
something
have it in
about
the
the
trial.
country
You
as
don't
a
have
whole.
to have it. Like, you can have it in the trial.
What do you
They're
mean?
gonna say like, no, I'm saying like when you're having the trial, you're having the deposition, whatever. They're gonna say like, oh yeah, this guy's racist, but like, I guess what I'm saying is like,
Well,
the crime is murder.
I don't know if the charges carry significant like.
I don't think Well,
It's classified as a hate crime, but you're still charged with murder.
Yeah,
you're not charged
yeah.
with like
It's just
hate crime
classified.
murder.
It's just a classification to show like what.
There's no special charge for hate crime.
I mean,
I'm-
Alex
that's
can
what-
look it
Alex,
up.
look it up. Do you let's say there's two exactly identical like charges, like
You're
somebody got murdered, like
You're charged with murder.
yeah, somebody's charged with murder. Let's say two people got shot. One guy's charged with murder.
Google
one guy's
what
charged with a
Dylan
hate
Roof
crime,
was charged
hate
with.
crime. Like,
What
does the
was
guy that
Dylan
got
Roof?
charged with a hate crime
Yeah, his
get
name's
more
Dylan
time
Roof.
because of like?
Dylan Roof, what was he charged with?
Federal hate crimes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Well, all
It
right.
says special
Federal hate
charge,
crimes.
I'm pretty sure.
All right. Well, yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I guess they are their own designated charge. Oh, well, there's a law that prevents against hate crime. I mean, maybe Jake has a point, but I don't really see the problem of. I don't think there's a problem.
I'm not saying. Well, is there a problem?
Just
Well, I know you're arguing like you don't see the point in having them, but
Like because there's not a strong reason to have it. It shouldn't be there.
I think it was
Like, now
again
that
with
it's
a lot of
there,
things.
I'm not gonna be like standing at
With
the
a lot of things
Capitol,
related to
like-
civil rights in that time, I think you look at it at that time, these laws were probably needed. In that, you look at these, a lot of people, I'm not saying Jake does, but Jake can put his 2 cents if he, a lot of people say, oh, we don't need anti-segregation laws because, racism doesn't really exist to that extent.
Yeah. Okay.
But what I would argue, and maybe this isn't, I understand this isn't the same point Jake was trying to make, but I would argue is like at that time, anti-segregation laws were needed because racism did exist, and like part of the reason the world, or America at least, is not as racist
Today
as
is because
of those laws.
Yeah.
And so maybe you could make a strong case you don't need them now.
Are people making that argument?
People make that argument, as like free, like if I'm a business owner, why can't I? Because I'm free to do what I want, and I mean the argument, it's not really like I can't really argue with it. Like they're basically saying like if you got rid of who would like if there was one store and everybody knew they didn't allow blacks, who would shop there?
They don't want to. From my point of view, I wouldn't want to give them a chance to do that.
I understand that, but like the thing is, like I guess, like take a city in New York, New York City. Say there was one store that said no blacks allowed.
Yeah.
Who the fuck's shopping there? Nobody in New York City's going in
Nobody.
there. That store's going bankrupt in a week. And that's the argument they're trying to make.
Okay.
And you could say that.
But
And now I don't know exactly. For hate crimes, I don't know. I would have to read more into the history of why hate crime laws were.
But are these people that are making this point like actually like fighting to get it off?
Like it's not their big, like it's not like priority number one on
Okay.
their agenda.
I'm-
They're not. I'm sure you can
I was
find
gonna
some
say.
white nationalist group that like that's their fucking number one thing, getting rid of anti-segregation
That
laws and like
seems-
reinstating slavery.
Like fighting
but
for that seems really sketchy.
it's not something they fight for. It's just like it's really something that they kind of like say. I don't know. Maybe Jake. I don't want to say Jake treads in those circles, but he's of a more liberty bent.
Could you
are you, Jake?
repeat that?
The anti-segregation laws and how people want them gone.
Oh, philosophically,
Like, I'm not. It's not like priority number one.
Practically speaking,
It's not. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, they're trying to argue this like philosophically.
like philosophically, like just purely philosophically, not practical application. Like purely philosophically, like if it was truly a free and open marketplace, and there was like a shop or something that didn't like black people or something, for instance, and you were black, why would you want to give them your money? That's a purely philosophical argument. So, like, okay, philosophically, that's why, like, okay, I would maybe be against the law, but then at the same time, it's like, okay, practically speaking, let's just say, more practical situation, you're black and you need, necessities, and the one store around you in some hypothetical scenario doesn't give you service. So even though you don't want to give them your money, maybe
You might have
another
to.
option.
Yeah.
I mean that's why they had him in the first place, right?
Mhm.
The laws. How often does that happen?
Today,
Still now, I don't know.
It
Today?
wouldn't happen with the internet and social media.
dude, you seen
A
it?
single time, usually if any racist thing happens in a store, it gets
Everyone
posted on the internet and
That
it gets
thing's on the
very
news.
big.
Yeah. I mean, well, Chick-fil-A
like, I would-
sometimes has a negative effect because, like, Chick-fil-A, remember what they said?
It was
They made
gay
a stance
people.
on gay
They're
people.
anti-LGBTQ because they donate to anti-LGBT.
Actually, it
I thought they had said something
No,
that
it
caused
was-
that boycott.
No, they donate
It was
to them.
no,
They
it was
donate
the owner or CEO. I don't know if they're the same person. It was like the owner of Chick-fil-A
he donates to.
that donated, not the company itself.
Okay.
Well,
As
No, the
far as
company
I-
itself
the
is
head of the
the company
company
itself is a Christian company because, like, if I think on like their merch, like on their cups or something, they have like Bible verses or something.
I think
I
that's
have no idea.
that's like In-N-Out.
Oh yeah, it might be In-N-Out. Yeah, you're right. It might be In-N-Out. Okay, but yeah, Chick-fil-A. Yeah, and there was a boycott, and it had the adverse in that Chick-fil-A actually did better
Yeah.
due to the. So
Any
I
pu-
mean,
Any publicity is good publicity.
but yeah. So again, I don't know. I feel like there's truly racist. Nobody's shopping there. Like this guy, you spoke to the owner, and he's just like, I hate black people. And, nobody's shopping.
I think
there.
in this day and age, I don't. Yeah, like you're saying, the internet or
Like even like if you were someone that shopped there,
I mean, if you're like a
kinda
rational,
fucked.
if you're a
If you've
rational
seen-
business owner, like you're not going to turn down
Yeah.
Money.
business. Although actually, no, that wasn't. I've heard interesting arguments where about particularly about like segregation or not segregation, like refusing service or not. I've heard a pretty interesting argument where it's like you needed to have those laws because in the past the shops that or stores or whatever the stores that didn't serve like black people, those stores had a competitive advantage, and so because people want to shop there, and so the argument that I read somewhere was that you needed to, even though like that behavior should be irrational, like you should be wanting business from anybody, they had to put those laws into place to help the people that weren't racist.
Oh really? Okay.
Put them on evil. Like
now it's
even
funny you say that,
playing
Jake.
around. What?
I have another industry where that applies. There is one industry where if it's not really serving someone, but working with someone who is black negatively impacts this person's career. Does anyone know the industry? We're going to go with Alex.
Working with somebody that's black.
Yes. Well, there is a phenomena. If this person works with somebody that's black, this negatively impacts their career.
Is it like acting or something?
I won't tell you.
No
I'll have you
idea.
guess.
I
So
cannot.
what happens is this person works with this black, and people refuse to get this person's service. Alex, do you know what industry I'm talking about?
I don't believe so.
Jake,
No.
TJ,
No.
pornography.
You're very in the industry, I suppose, John.
No. It is a phenomena. Alexis Texas does not work with.
Alexis Texas.
No, hold on. No, I'm gonna
Is
listen.
it straight from her himself?
No, she has said
Sorry.
this. She does not work with black actors, male actors, because, and you guys know it. It's a black meme. If a white woman has sex with a black man, there is a phenomena where white men refuse to watch that porn star.
This is real?
Yes, it is so.
Apparently I need to get more immersed in the world of pornography because I haven't really.
Where'd you
I
even
read
go
it.
to
heard
get
of
these
this.
stats? Like,
It was hot. I think I read it on Reddit.
Reddit.
It was it was on Reddit.
I've never heard that what you're talking about specifically.
Yeah, and that's why you have porn stars who will refuse to work with a black male actor
I
because.
don't really care.
Well, I'm not saying it for you to care. I'm just saying like this.
I mean, I know what you're. I know you're pointing out that the pornography industry is a very important.
Well, what I'm trying to
driver.
say is like these people have competitive advantages over the people that do,
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
and so I'm trying to relate it. And I thought that was funny, as a student of pornography myself.
a student of pornography.
Yeah,
Student
no,
pornography. Are
pornography.
you proud of it?
I listen. Porn, it makes me happy.
Porn makes you happy, John.
It does. I think it makes anybody that watches it happy.
I mean,
But like
John,
I can
wouldn't you
identify.
say you
Is
like it a little
actually-
too
is-
much?
It's actually like
Huh?
see like there's like a difference. Like I don't know.
I don't know if it's so much porn, but never mind.
What?
Keep going.
Not if it's not porn, then what is it?
Not masturbation, but keep going.
Oh well, I guess what I'm saying is like I don't know. Is there a kind of food you eat, John, that like you like, but then you feel sick after?
High carb stuff.
High carbs.
Well,
stuff.
not sick, but I don't
You
feel,
don't feel
better.
good.
Yeah.
You don't feel good, right? High carb stuff,
Yeah.
right? Like I don't know. It's like I guess to me like high carb stuff. Like you could say it makes you happy, but like it's just making you happy temporarily. Like is it really like? Are you saying that pornography is
you
giving
can
your life meaning
when it
or
was
something?
when it was in no, it doesn't give me meaning, but I mean I was exaggerating a bit when I said it makes me happy. But what I meant like there are days like when I struggle with an addiction to pornography. So
So then
like-
maybe you shouldn't.
hold on, well let
Say
me
it makes
finish.
you
Let me
happy.
finish.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as I said before, I was exaggerating.
Well, okay. Now we're going from it makes me happy to I'm addicted to it.
Yes. Well, I struggle with porn, and so like it wouldn't make me happy. Like if I do it like once, like at night when I'm about to go to bed, like it doesn't really negatively impact my day. But like there were times where like I wouldn't get out of bed because I wanted to jack off, and then like I would I'd be so tired to get out of bed, I'd fall asleep for an extra 2 hours, or maybe in the middle of the day when I could be doing something else, I would prefer to jack off, and then I fall asleep, and then that's my day. That's it negatively impacting me. That's an like if I'm doing it before bed, I was going to bed anyways, and then I wake up, so it's not really that much of a. It's not that much of a big deal. But if I'm doing it to the point where like I am putting aside my other obligations,
everything within moderation. John.
I mean, yeah, you can say that. That's true. But if I'm then that's an addiction. That's where the addiction starts.
Yeah.
And that happens with anything. Like if you have other obligations that need to be met and instead you choose to play video games, one could argue you have an addiction to video games. You could play video games 23 hours every day and have no obligations, and you could not be addicted to video games. When the addiction starts is, say you had to play 30 minutes of video games a day, and you were willing to put aside, an obligation or two to fulfill those 30 minutes. That's an addiction. So yeah, and that's how I classify addiction. And yeah, I struggle with an addiction. I try to fight, I try to do it or reduce it. Like today, I haven't jacked off at all. I woke up at 5 a.m. I'm trying to seek a more disciplined lifestyle where because again, like discipline, as what's his name, Joko Willick says, Navy SEAL, retired Navy SEAL. He says discipline equals freedom, and I can do, because I had the discipline to wake up at 5 a.m. I had more time in the morning to do stuff I really wanted to do. Like
what'd you do this morning?
I watched. I have this phone app. It's a meditation app, and I meditate for a bit, about 20 some minutes. And then, for programming, I watched a programming video to learn a new skill or something I didn't know for web programming. I spent 19 minutes on that. I packed my lunch. I got ready for work. I like typically what happens is like the alarm goes off at 5. I just go straight back to bed, jack off, wake up at 7:20. I have to leave the house at 7:40. I'm in a rush. I'm running around, trying to, and I barely manage. I make the bus, and I'm not happy with that because I'm in a rush. It's just pure chaos. But I woke up at 5 a.m. That discipline I had to wake up at 5 a.m. It gave me more time to do things I really wanted, not like this impulse desire. Like I really wanted to sit down, meditate, relax. I really wanted to learn this programming thing because that will help me out in the long term. I really wanted to pack my lunch instead of, being in such a hurry I had to go and buy lunch at work because that gives me more financial freedom because I save money that way because I packed my lunch and I went there and, it allows me time to pick up my wardrobe and decide what I'm going to wear so I look better. And I look better so I'm more confident. And this causes a positive feedback loop. Because of that discipline that I had to wake up at 5 a.m. and it's because of that simple act of refusing to go back in bed and jack off.
Domino effect. Do one good thing, leads you to do other stuff.
Yeah,
do
and
better self-improvement. You're trying to self-improve. Yeah, that's real good.
Yeah,
you're saying all this because of discipline.
Yeah,
discipline is the sole action.
The discipline to wake up at 5 a.m.
Wake up at 5 a.m. Get stuff done. You have that self-control, they have that will to do whatever you put your mind to and get. Well,
I want to have that will.
Yeah, you're working towards it. You have that will in a sense. You've already done it this morning.
And that positive feedback loop. Since I'm on a roll, I come back from work because I picked out a healthier lunch without so many carbohydrates. Because if you eat carbohydrates a lot, then you're tired. So I come back from work, and then I go straight to the gym. And then, I go to the gym, I work out, I feel good, I feel better about myself. Yeah. And, then, once you're in that loop, and once you get that loop going, all you want to do is productive things that make you feel better about yourself. And this causes good things to happen to you. You're looking better, you're more confident, other people start to notice this, maybe a pretty girl or two. Let's hope. Let's fucking hope.
There is no hope, John. We already know.
Yeah. And, that happens. And then, this is the thing. Because, I would say before, I was stuck in a negative feedback loop. I'm always in a hurry. I'm not good. I'm not confident, and so, I'm clean. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to take the day.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere. If your day starts off in the right position, it's easier to get other things done.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's true. And there was also, what was the other thing? Just speaking on hate, the Sri Lankan thing. You find that funny, TJ?
No, I just realized we went down quite the rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's what started this. We were talking about hate crimes, then we talked about hate. Then that's the beauty of the natural flow of conversation.
Yeah.
But we were talking about which was devastating. But
yeah, I didn't know that happened. I just
You didn't know that.
Where
Jesus
did it
Christ,
happen
TJ. What
exactly?
is it like under that rock? Does it get cold down there under that rock?
Yeah, I'm very unhappy. But,
well, no, that rock that you're living under.
Yeah, it's not a good time.
Well, what happened was, these they said it was ISIS. And in revenge of, well, actually, the leader of ISIS, al-Baghdadi, he came out today and said he had not been seen for a while. He said that those attacks were from ISIS and they were revenge attacks on ISIS losing territory in Syria. Because you know what's happening in Syria.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
fighting a
yeah.
war, and ISIS is losing.
Yeah.
And so as revenge, they did those Sri Lankan attacks
Okay.
on the Catholics. And again,
There was more than one attack?
it was multiple bombings, and they're still finding bombs.
Oh, wow.
This was
I may have actually heard about that, them finding bombs.
this is, in fact, they can't. They were the following Sunday. They were told don't go to church, don't go to a mosque on that Friday too.
You guys are cool. Don't go to the church tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what because they were afraid. Like, well, for the Muslims, they were afraid like a Christian would do a retaliation attack, and like for the Christians, they were afraid that
That's just where we are in the world, though. It's
and that's
really
the thing. How do you stop the hate? And I think George Carlin, he has this funny piece. He says, "You ever notice how everybody that ever advocates for peace gets killed? Like Martin Luther King." Jesus Christ got crucified. Gandhi, assassin. Like, it's not that they die of natural causes. Like, they literally get, assassinated. Nelson Mandela gets put in prison. He didn't get
because
assassinated.
there's always
He died.
somebody with the opposite view, and they're willing to fucking do
Yes,
that.
and all these people who
terrible shit.
advocate for peace, and then he says, something's telling me we're just not ready for it yet. And I think that's true because, there's so much hate in the world, and I personally I think it's fueled by I think this is poverty in effect. Especially when it happens in these. The funny thing about the media is like the Sri Lankan thing. Like they're like, I think it was like 300 people were killed.
Mm-hmm.
It was
That's
like,
a lot of.
300 people were killed.
That's
But
a lot of people.
no, the American public doesn't care about that. So what does the media have to add?
What?
300 people killed, 5 Americans,
Ooh.
Oh,
that's a
and
problem.
then
Was that-
people
was that-
care.
Now it's a
Then
problem.
Was that
now
a
it's a
headline?
story, huh?
Was that an actual
Yes,
headline?
they're like 300 killed, 5 Americans included, and it's like, oh well.
Why
Yeah.
didn't you say
Yeah.
so?
I mean, and listen, people have because
Terrible.
you think of Sri Lanka, dude. I bet for a lot of people, this was the first time they'd heard of Sri Lanka. Like they had
Isn't
never
that
heard
where,
of.
like Sikhs are killing tons of Israelis. It's a joke, John.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, Alex,
It's a joke.
What?
where's Sri Lanka?
I have no.
I know where
fucking
it
idea.
is. Wait, does TJ know where it is? I'm not like.
Hold on.
TJ, where's
Sri
Sri
Lanka.
Lanka?
You know, John.
Yes.
Okay.
I
No?
can't say I know. I can't.
It's south of India. It's in the Indian Ocean.
What is the capital of Sri Lanka?
I don't know.
Colombo.
Colombo. I didn't
Yeah,
know
it's
that.
called Colombo.
Colombo.
All right. So.
But
It's nice.
yeah, no, yeah,
Little
Sri
island
Lanka.
South of India.
Yeah, so like again, like they're telling the story. I bet there are Americans that were just like, "What the fuck is a Sri Lanka?" Like, but
I've
yeah,
heard
no,
of Sri Lanka
it's a
before.
small island country, a Buddhist majority, south of India. It's it's around in that region,
all right.
and actually, we should have discussed this previous podcast because that's when it happened. We're discussing old fucking.
We also didn't
news.
discuss Notre Dame. Did we?
Notre
Dude, fuck Notre Dame
Why?
Notre Dame.
or Notre Dame. Like the only Americans that care about that
Notre Dame.
are
Only
fucking.
Americans
The only Americans that care about that is what I said.
Notre Dame.
Are these rich, artsy fartsy kids
Artsy
or
fartsy
people,
kids.
went to Europe, think they're all fucking cultured
I
and
went-
whatever.
John, I'll have you know. I saw Notre Dame.
so did Dylan.
See, that's why I care. I bet Jake was fucking weeping when he saw Notre. Like I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, like if people had died
I
in
get
Notre
what- okay,
Dame,
I get what you're saying, John, but like at the same time, come on, it's an important matter.
Yeah, it's
no, it's a fucking
Western
stone
culture.
marble statue. Like it's a fucking like. First off, like if Jesus, the pious man he was, like he would look at this like, what is this? He would be like, this grand cathedral
Come
you've
on,
made.
Look at it from like an
Jesus
architectural
was a man who
standpoint.
lived
It
a
was building
minimalist-
created like how many years ago? How many fucking?
Okay,
It's been out for
listen. We have
centuries.
pictures.
Centuries.
We've all seen it.
Oh,
Yeah,
come
but
on.
I'm
Hey,
not
look,
that. I
come
wasn't that fucking
when-
impressed.
Okay, would you say the same thing about like
know-
Mona Lisa? Like Mona Lisa.
If
was
the
burned?
Mona Lisa burned up, I would not give a single flying shit.
Wow.
All right. I mean,
Alex, how about where do you stand on that? The Mona Lisa burns up. How long are you weeping over that
I
one?
have no personal attachment to the Mona
I don't
Lisa,
either, but-
personally.
Listen,
It's a
listen.
lost
I saw
cause.
that Notre Dame thing burning down. I was like, I hope this thing fucking burns to the fucking ground. They build a McDonald's on top of it. All right, that is how like how much I cared about that thing.
John.
If people had died, we're talking about a different story. That's a tragedy.
Okay.
If people were trapped in there burning
John, you know
alive,
what?
that's a tragedy.
Now that you say
but
that,
there's a
now
fucking building, and you see these billionaires and millionaires. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. Go on.
John, you've convinced me. I realize that Notre Dame has no real importance, and I really hope they build a McDonald's over it.
I mean, I don't see the importance of Notre Dame. I think
It had a
it's
large
just
importance
this,
to
you
a
know.
lot
Who gives
of
a
people.
shit about history?
It's just, oh my fucking god! It's just this monument of
It's
man.
just this monument.
Like have you all read the
It's
poem
just
Ozzy?
Do you have
It's
any
just this
idea-
architectural feat of engineering
Oh
that
my
was.
fucking!
What-
That's
okay.
why you cared about. That's
How
why you
about
weep.
this? How about this?
I didn't weep.
If you see the Statue of Liberty had followed like a terrorist
doesn't
attack.
care.
or
Oh,
something,
I
it
can't
burned
say
down,
any.
doesn't
Listen,
feel
I
bad?
don't want
Would-
fucking
would
FBI to
you
fucking
feel
storm
bad?
me.
Would you feel
I don't want
bad
the
at
fucking
least?
FBI to
Would you
storm
feel
me.
like, oh, I like the Statue of Liberty? I'm sad to see it go. Would
Uh-huh.
you at least be
John
like
doesn't
that?
Statue
care
of
about
Liberty.
objects.
Okay, my general rule of thumb is like these.
And that's like something completely different. That's
like,
something with no religious
The Statue of
attachment.
Liberty represents more than. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying the Statue of Liberty has greater significance than the Notre. I'm saying they're both objects.
Yeah.
But what's really important about these objects, and I don't really think Notre Dame has any like underlying idea behind it. Statue of Liberty represents
Christianity?
something.
There were a
The-
lot
the
of
Notre Dame, that is what represents
No, there were a
Christianity.
lot of, like,
the
relics.
Notre Dame alone is
No,
what
no,
represents the whole of
there were a
Christianity.
lot
It
of
represents
relics
Christian
in-
history.
Oh, get
in
the
that-
fuck
in Notre
outta
Dame.
here.
It
There
represents
was.
the
No,
it represents
It doesn't
the
represent an
dominant
idea.
religion in-
The Statue of Liberty represents liberty and freedom in America.
And
You
what,
see
the
that
cathedral
lady
didn't
shining her
represent-
light. You see that I'm not saying if it burned down like weep over it for 5 days and 5 nights,
Well-
but it represents something
Okay,
far.
hold on.
It comes closer to representing an idea more than the fucking Notre Dame did. You were saying it yourself. Oh, it's just architectural great achievement. It
I didn't
doesn't
say just that.
represent
I'm saying
something.
that's one thing.
Oh,
That was one of
John,
the.
it's a church. It's an important church in Catholicism. Like it's like this is like
there are thousands of fucking churches. I don't know if you said there's this huge. Well, it's not huge, but there's a city with grand palaces, which I feel if Jesus came back and saw that shit, he would be disgusted. He would look at this and be like, "What the fuck are you guys doing? You're building these grand golden
I
cathedrals."
guess you're Protestant, John.
I'm not. Well, I'm an atheist.
You are
but
Protestant.
well, I grew up Protestant. I'm an
You grew up
atheist.
Okay.
Protestants don't they don't agree with like the really grand pretty churches.
Aren't you a Protestant?
Yes.
What the fuck are you doing? You should be on my side. Come to this side of the table,
I'm not,
Jake.
I'm not building the ornate churches. I'm just saying if they're there, they should be preserved.
Well,
have
obviously the
important-
fire
Were-
disagreed
were
with
you,
you.
like, were you just sitting around like a couple years ago when ISIS was blowing up these centuries old Buddhist carvings? You're like, hell yeah,
Jake,
get it out of here,
Jake,
blow it up. Who gives a
I
fuck?
wasn't
Like-
saying. Okay, you seem to be confused with
Yeah,
my position.
I'm
I'm not
radical.
active. I'm
Definitely.
not actively like promoting the destruction. I'm just saying if these
just don't
things.
give a fuck.
I'm just saying if these things get destroyed, like why are we weeping over this? I mean, first off,
Okay,
the ISIS destroying Buddha statues. I can guarantee you there wasn't a single fucking American that gave a shit about that.
I didn't like it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Well,
I'm sure maybe you didn't like it. Like I don't like the
I'm
act
not
of
Buddhist,
I
so,
understand. I
like,
understand. I don't like. it.
you said yourself that you're not Christian, so you don't care
I-
about Notre Dame.
Well, listen, if there's this atheistic, there isn't. But like, if someone burned like fucking like, who wrote God is Dead? Nietzsche's book, God is dead. Like, I wouldn't be fucking weeping like, oh my God, how do I do this?
Earlier, you showed emotion towards
Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty.
Like
And
you feel something about
you'd
Statue of
you'd
Liberty.
feel feel bad if something happened to it.
What again? I said it's an object.
Yeah,
I
it's an object, but that doesn't. You'd feel something. You'd feel something if it were. If
Listen,
you saw
the way I see it is these are just objects made of these. You can build another one that represents the same thing. Okay, the Notre Dame burns down.
you can't just build another one.
Yes, you can. They know how it was built. There are blueprints of it. Like
The
the
reason-
Notre Dame alone
Part of
is
the
one of
reason-
the most studied, well-studied architectural
Yeah, they can-
feats.
they can
They
rebuild
could
them.
rebuild that. It wasn't even that big. You can rebuild it.
You can rebuild it, but it won't have the same value.
Oh
It
my
was it
fucking
wouldn't be the
God.
same one that was built hundreds of years ago, like
You
centuries.
see, and then people grow these attachments to these buildings, these objects, these whatever.
Yeah,
You
these
see these
attachments
billionaires and millionaires. I sound like fucking Bernie Sanders now. Going in, donating.
I mean, okay, I agree with the whole idea that, as soon as Notre Dame burned down, there were millions upon millions of dollars being pledged. Whereas, like what you're saying, since the dawn of time, there's been at least some amount of people living in abject poverty. So and those people clearly aren't getting all the help they need. So it's like those people aren't getting all the help they need. But then as soon as
Yeah.
Notre Dame burns down, hundreds of $1 million are put up. So I mean, I get that.
Yeah, I mean,
But like the whole
Yes.
idea of like all the people, donating all this money. But I mean, I'm just saying like the event itself, like even if you aren't religious, it's a part of history. And again, you could say that you don't give a fuck about history, but I would argue
Most
that,
parts of it, like what about the 7 great ones? Like most of them are gone. Most of them were destroyed.
But okay,
Like,
they're
those are a
gone,
part
but
of
that's
history.
That's not a good thing.
yeah, I mean, like,
Well, it's not a good nor a bad thing. It just is.
I
Notre
think
Dame
it is a
burning
bad
down
thing.
isn't
I
a
would
good
say
or
it's-
bad. It just is.
Like you're saying it. You're saying it. Yeah. Well, you're saying it doesn't matter. I guess.
Yes,
No, I don't agree with that.
it does matter. I
Yeah,
I
I
think.
think
to
it
some extent.
I'm not saying.
that-
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it. Maybe to the extent of donating hundreds of millions of dollars, but
Yeah,
I mean, come on. It's
it was like,
I think like if you read the poem Ozymandias, it's basically about this guy who stumbles upon this tablet in stone, and it's this great king. He etches like, I'm the great king Ozymandias. Behold my great works, and stare in awe. And behind that tablet is just the desert, because this guy's empire, it truly did exist. It was a part of history, but it all went away because his empire fell. Everything got abandoned and all became destroyed.
mm-hmm.
That's what's going to happen with everything, guys. I hate to break it to you. It's all going to
That's
go
not gonna
away.
happen in your
Okay,
lifetime.
so
And
so
it's
why
not good.
take-
It's not bad.
so you
It
should,
just
like,
is.
Okay. Yeah.
I
agree.
they're all going to go. The Notre Dame, it wasn't going to stay forever. I hate to break it to you guys.
Yeah.
The Mona Lisa isn't going to be there forever.
Okay,
The
but
Big Ben isn't going to be there forever.
So I agree. I agree that you can't. People shouldn't freak out.
When it's time to go, it's time to go.
Well, but I don't agree with like people should be like, oh yeah, like I don't agree with. I would say that you should care somewhat, just not too much.
Listen,
The
like
way you're
the one
making
thing.
it
Okay,
sound,
listen.
like-
I understand. Oh, the Notre Dame's burning. Oh, I know what that is. Oh, okay. Yeah, that sucks. All right, move on with my fucking life. If you had anything more than that, you're fucking retarded.
All we're trying to do is just get you to say like, yeah, it was a bad thing. It wasn't
It wasn't good. It wasn't. It just is. Yeah, it was.
I think it was.
The
I think it
Notre
was a
Dame
little
was
bad.
going to go
I
away
think
one
it was
way
a
or
bad
another.
thing.
The Notre Dame was going to go away one
Like,
way or
John,
another.
even if you didn't like it, you have to realize, like, just think about it this way: millions of people every year, even if you didn't care about it personally, millions of people, like the building itself, brought joy to millions of people that went to see
If
it
your
every
joy
year.
is derived from a fucking building, I got a bridge to sell
No,
you.
their joy is derived from going and experiencing new things and seeing things
John,
that
like
were
you,
you not see anywhere else.
you get some sort of joy from things that, like, aren't directly like you get joy from material things.
Yes, that's true. You
Is
try
that
to
wrong?
minimalize that. Yes, that is wrong.
Why?
We watched this great movie, Fight Club. You're not
Oh.
your 401k, you're not your khakis. I know you can sit here and say it, but what he was saying was true. Like, there is a huge
Blow up
dependence.
Notre Dame.
There is a huge dependence on people deriving their happiness and their self-worth and their identity from objects, things they own.
I own Notre Dame.
Right now, we're not talking about we own.
I'm not saying that. Well, what you're saying is, there are people. The Notre Dame made millions of people happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
Were they paying for Notre Dame?
It wasn't making them happy. When Notre Dame went down, they were unhappy, and they were shaken
Why do people go to? Why I went? My family
millions
went,
of people.
Like,
Every
I
year.
went to go see it.
because it's there,
People see it.
and that's why you
Come
saw
on,
it.
John. You know that doesn't make any sense.
Listen,
people
I
go
went
there
to
to see
Washington
it.
D.C.
It's not like
I
they
went to
were there and
Washington
saw
D.C.
it.
Right? I saw the fucking Washington Monument. I saw the Lincoln Memorial. I saw the Martin Luther King.
Did you not go there to see those things?
No, well, it was a school trip.
Yeah, you went there to see those things.
It was a
on
school
your
trip.
school
I,
trip.
didn't- I hated those.
Like
I
John,
felt-
John, that's you. Like you're assuming that everybody is going to these tourist destinations because
I am Jake.
just because
Jake, I'm not denying that there are people that think differently like me. I'm saying that these people who think differently than me,
are stupid.
their thinking is wrong for these reasons. All right, I'm not saying that these people don't exist and these people are these
So you're
mythical
saying,
beings.
Is it bad to enjoy history? Is it bad to?
You can enjoy history.
So okay, so there's this history behind Notre Dame, and people enjoy it. Is that a bad thing?
Yeah, that sucks. Well, part of history is knowing that things are temporal and things go away. Yeah, people can acknowledge. Again, it's
So
not a
you're
good
saying
or
you're
bad
saying
thing.
it's wrong
It
to
just
be,
is.
You're saying it's wrong to be unhappy about it.
Huh?
You're saying it's wrong to be unhappy about it.
I mean, like, indifference is really
So you're saying it's wrong to be unhappy about it.
like if you, yeah, I guess.
I
Especially
think it's-
depending
I
on your
think it's-
degrees of unhappiness.
Okay,
Like, if you cried over the destruction of Notre Dame,
I didn't say
Well,
cry.
we're
I
not
say
saying cry.
oh,
We're not
okay,
saying-
now at least
have
we
we're
agree
not
on
saying
sort of-
bawling, we're
Hey,
not saying-
what about the audio level?
we're
Where
not
are you
even
going?
saying showing physical emotion. We're just saying feeling bad about it. Just on the basic level, like that's a bad thing. That sucks. Like it's bad.
Like you think?
That's what I said. I said, okay, if your reaction was
you said.
hold
you
on, wait.
said
I
it
can go
was
back. I can go
neither
back.
good
I can
or
go
bad.
back. I can go back. I said, if your reaction was anything more than, oh, the Notre Dame burned down, that sucks. All right, moving on, acknowledging it sucks and whatever, and moving on, because you're really just indifferent to it. And
Well,
like, okay,
yeah,
maybe it sucks.
I agree. Everybody should move on, but you keep on saying,
Like if you're sitting here wallowing and like, oh my God,
Well,
the
we're
Notre
not
Dame
talking
burned down. No,
so you can agree that it's a bad thing.
it's not.
As
I don't
long
think
as
it's a
you
bad
don't,
thing.
Like waste too much energy. You don't think it's a bad thing.
That it
That's
burned
that's
down.
the thing.
I
That's what
don't.
we're
I
trying to
personally
argue.
don't. I say what my thoughts on the. It's not good. It's not bad. It just is. It burned down. These things. It happens. All these historical monuments are going to go away at some point or another. Like
So there
okay,
should be no effort to preserve them.
huh?
There should be no effort to preserve historical monuments.
Some of these things, yeah, I don't think like I don't know what purpose, like well, why the,
Well, just because
a lot of these
here's my
things are
problem.
just sinks of,
Like-
of taxpayer dollars, in my opinion.
Like I guess here's my only problem. You're looking at all these historical monuments,
But
whatever.
one
You're
could
like-
argue
you're like,
from
you're sitting there like I personally don't care,
yes,
so therefore
Nobody
everybody
should
else
care.
is wrong.
huh? Yes,
I think that's
I personally
I think
don't.
that's foolish.
I
thinking.
think the idea that these people care shows, they need to start questioning, like, where is your happiness derived from? Like, okay, there's a specific subset, like, people who were, like, crying, this was, like, big, breaking, like, sad news.
Those were mostly people that lived in the area, and that was a big part of their lives.
No, there are people in
and-
America who were, visibly distraught over this, and, like, they're like, oh, no, the Notre Dame's, like, those are the people who I'm really questioning.
Those are the people that actually like really cared about architecture, maybe even the religion. They give
the architecture's still there. The ideas that led to the creation of Notre Dame is not what burned down.
Like
you
John,
can
it's
rebuild
like you're
it.
saying this. Like you're saying this because this is just not, this is not something that concerns you personally, and like I can't come up with something that you care about. But like, I'm just saying like you're saying this as it's objective, but it's just subjective. like anything
Listen,
else.
Jake. What I'm saying is, okay, say there was something I cared about. If
Yeah.
I care about it so much, like say it was my PS4. If I care about my PS4 so much to
Something
the point
bigger than a
that
PS4.
okay, whatever, my car, my house. If I
no,
ca-
like
It's-
a
it's
whole
not-
area, like a whole you don't have any interests.
what?
It's not
You have an
even, like-
interest. You have a hobby.
We saw Endgame, right?
It's not.
You saw hold on, I'm gonna make a point.
So let's just say Marvel or
did not see
or
Endgame.
DC because you like DC. Let's say DC's like has an archive of all the original comics and they all burned to ash. You'd just be like, who gives a fuck?
See, that's
like I'd be like it sucks, but it is. First off, the archive. Okay,
Is that a good
that's
thing?
That's not very comparable because
just
like
saying, it's like
the
something
archives
that-
are stored on the internet. Like you can watch
No,
all
dude,
these.
No,
things
but
on
the
there.
original ones,
the
like-
original
I
comic.
mean,
I wouldn't give a shit.
I guess because you don't.
I-
see, here's
I
the
wouldn't
thing.
get-
So
Jake,
there's nothing that you care about, like that. There's nothing that you care about.
You shouldn't
basically.
care about
Are you-
objects to that
do-
extent. Jake, I gave my first comics. I gave them all away. Like I have no like emotional
not your
attachment.
first, the first.
Like the first comics I ever got, I gave them away.
Not your.
My first, yes, my first. The
I'm
ones
saying
that
for him saying they burned away, not your first. The first. The
okay,
first ever.
I understand what he's saying.
But,
Like,
but
first
John
off,
doesn't-
I have
John
no
doesn't care about-
attachment.
John
to
doesn't
the-
care about history, and he doesn't care about the objects from
I'm not
history.
saying I don't care. Listen,
You don't care about the objects from history. You don't care about objects.
I don't care. Listen,
John-
you saw Marvel, right? You saw Thor Ragnarok.
It's
Hold on,
kinda-
can I make a point?
All right.
You saw Thor Ragnarok. You saw Asgard.
Sure.
What was the whole thing with it when it got destroyed? Like, oh, our home, or whatever. What did he say?
Home is what you make it. or
Yes.
bullshit. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It was.
No,
So
everybody was fucking super sad about their home dying.
I understand
bro.
they're home. I understand. Okay, I understand they were
Like
angry.
they're super fucking angry.
I
They
understand.
were bawling.
I understand they were angry.
Their
I
home
understand.
was gone.
Okay, hold on. Wait, I'm still making my point.
I
but-
feel like you just.
But the whole point was, it was like these people grew too attached. Like they thought Asgard to them was this land where all these beautiful palaces and opulent buildings were. And the whole underlying point is Asgard isn't just this. It's more than that.
Yeah.
It's the people. It's the ideas that it represents.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I,
but
I
that
just-
happens
I-
after they lose it. That
But
happens.
I disagree with this whole like none of this history, none of the objects matter, none of the space matters. Like, no, it's like maybe you personally don't have a culture and a history that you connect to, or maybe you don't think like you personally don't give a shit about that stuff.
Listen,
but
if
other
you
people
need
do.
me,
Have that
what I'm trying to
stance.
say, I'm making a character judgment on these people. I'm saying
No,
if you,
I believe
Like
you can't have that
you're
stance.
saying, you're saying, okay, just because you just because you don't have like maybe a church that you went to as a kid that you care about and you know there's history. Like here's the thing. Like Notre Dame, like people have been going there for centuries. Like there's a history there, and it's like so. Yes, it's the building, but it's not just the building.
Jay, I'm going to tell you the real reason Notre Dame is cared about so much, especially by the French government. It makes a shit ton of money for France.
Well, yeah,
That is it.
I'm not.
That's
Gonna,
not
That
what
is it.
people are.
If the Notre Dame made
that's
no
for the
money,
government.
That's not the
Yeah,
emotion.
if the
that's
Notre
the
Dame
government.
made no
That's-
fucking money, that thing would be collecting cobwebs. That thing would have already burned down.
No,
No.
no.
Yes.
The people don't go there because it makes money for everybody,
I don't
for the
believe you
government.
paid.
The people go there because they want to see it, and
The
the government
government-
reaps the benefits.
Like John, like, here's the thing. Like
Reaps the benefit.
this is why like Europeans are different than us. Like the people that have been living in Paris or living in France, like their families have been there most likely for generations. Like they have a history. Like we
Jesus
don't.
Christ.
Like everything
the shit
here
out of them.
is all new. It's all in the last fucking 50 years or something.
Yeah.
Like they actually have a history there. Like that shit
Okay.
has been around. Like
And that's
like,
kind of the
nobody gives
underlying
a fuck
problem.
If like the city hall burns down because it's just there for like city administration. Like Notre Dame, it was built centuries ago in the Middle Ages. Like it's incredible that they built this extremely intricate building
I
with all this
understand.
stained glass.
I understand.
And
I'm
people
not
going,
saying it
"Does
wasn't a
have-"
great work of art. What I'm saying
And
is
so, like,
I'm making a character judgment on these people who derive their happiness from these things or derive their
But-
self-worth,
but-
derive their identity from their ancestors' history. I'm making a character judgment saying, like, what's wrong? Guys, go and create your own achievements. Do your own. Drive happiness from yourself, not from objects.
That's where I believe.
I
your
want you to be
character
better
might
people.
You might be. Your
I
character might be
just
flawed in a
disagree.
way because you can't have that predisposition of just do all
I
this
guess-
stuff
see, to
without
me-
going
see-
through
see,
those
to
things
me-
themselves. You have the.
To me,
Well, those people didn't go through the building of
John-
Notre
John-
Dame.
no,
you,
John,
you
to
have
me-
the too much of. Oh, I'm gonna die at the end of my life. So what's the point in living?
John, like to me,
Like,
the only
that's- you
reason,
can't
the only
have
reason you're
that.
saying that, John, the only reason you're saying like, oh, who gives a fuck about the history? Who gives is because you don't have it.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Exactly. You don't have those feelings. That
And
they have.
I would
And so
argue
you
I'm better
cannot-
off for it. I have these
But,
less
like,
attachments to these things, and I can.
Maybe not.
This
but-
pushes me to not. I
but
can't drive my.
I don't. But I don't think it's fair to say like, okay, you don't have that history, you don't have that culture, whatever. Like, okay, fine, but I don't think it's fair to say that people that have that, it's a bad thing.
I think it's a bit. Jake, I'm saying I understand. I understand why they're upset. I do.
It's.
I'm
not-
saying I think it's stupid.
it's not wrong. It's not wrong or stupid because they're different than you.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
It's not stupid because you yourself don't feel the same way they do.
I'm not. I'm saying it's. I've underlined why I think it's stupid. That's not. That wasn't the reason I listed for why I think it's stupid. I wasn't saying, oh, they think differently than me, therefore it's stupid. I'm saying
like,
that,
like you have this whole idea that what like you have like a history, you have a culture, like you have like.
I think
like,
I think it
you
holds you
have, like-
back. I think those things because you're driving your self-worth. Like look, you see all these like black nationalists, white nationalists. They identify too much with like their ancestors, their history. What all these greater men before them. They're not when they need to derive their happiness from their accomplishments, their achievements, things they've done, not things greater men have done, buildings they've created, not buildings greater men have created.
You're saying there's no value. You're saying it's like a detriment. Like no, I don't. Agree
I
with
think
that.
it holds them back. I think because they get too like, hey, look at these white nationalists. Yeah, well, you ever notice all these white look like white fucking trash? Want to know why? Because half of their vote is like talking about how great their ancestors were, and not focusing on how great they should be.
Okay.
You look at what's the meme with black nationalists? We was Kangs. Was keyword was. What are you fucking doing now?
I don't agree. I don't agree that your history holds you back. Like having, I don't agree.
I think it's how you think of your history and like.
Well, I think it's how I think it's how you think about
like everyone has a history, but
like if you're trying to tell me that having this beautiful historical church, this work of art, this feat of engineering, somehow is holding back the French from being the great people that they can be, I think you're full of shit.
well, I think we've moved on. Like we started talking about bigger ideas than that. I was just saying like the act of it burning down. I didn't care about it. I thought it was kind of stupid. The overall worldwide reaction of like, oh, people are mourning
I
over
guess-
its loss
well,
and donating
but, again,
billions.
you're talking
of
about
funds.
an object, but really, I don't think it's about the object.
It is about the object.
No, it's not just about the object. No, it's to me, it's about
about
it's
what it
about
meant.
it's the history. It's about the idea. It's like the reason why that building was
You're-
ornate, was so complex, so beautiful, was because the French people, at least at that point, now you're talking about like the present, but at least at one point, the French people came together and did something great. And like, so to me,
Congratulations. Now do it again.
well, but you're saying oh, that like hold you. No, that's like to me that's like inspiration.
No, that holds you
to
back.
me that's inspiration.
Well, okay. Okay,
Like-
well, listen, the thing is like, oh, great, Notre Dame burned down. Let's build a better one.
Okay, and that's what they're doing.
You can have
Okay.
that outlook, and you can do all that without thinking that.
Listen, what I was criticizing, I think we're talking about two different things. What I was criticizing was the worldwide reaction surrounding it. It burned down, and, you know, people are crying, people are mourning, like people are visibly crying, TJ.
Yeah.
Okay. People are donating billions upon
See,
millions of dollars.
that's where I think like it should have been. Those people, it's fake. That's them donating those millions of dollars after it happens. Those aren't like true people. I doubt those people have been like constantly giving to them and constantly making sure they're well off or anything like that. I think all that was done like
All right.
as a stunt. I got not stunt, but it wasn't as heartfelt. The people crying and all that stuff, I believe that's because they had deep attachments to it.
I
Not
don't-
more than just
Listen,
the
I
building.
don't know. I can't name it. I don't know if I'm. I don't know. But, you know, Alex, how long have we been going?
Hour 15.
Hour 15. I always ask at an hour 15. Don't I? Asked at an hour 15 last time, didn't I?
You're really good at that.
Yeah, I'm just a
Good
fucking
job.
master. It always seems like we're going longer. Maybe it's, God damn. All right, so we talked about Notre Dame, and we got one more topic. Or should we stop kicking this mule?
The mule's not been kicked enough, John.
All right. Okay. So, TJ, you got anything to say?
About Notre Dame.
Yeah.
or-
Any last topic? You know, 15-minute topics. Jake the Snake. Actually, no.
Regular
Hold on. Wait,
potato
wait,
chips.
wait.
Regular potato chips.
Alex, wild card.
Why would
Oh.
you ever come to me?
Baby guy.
Seeking
Yeah.
for a
Why
topic.
the fuck would I even go to the? You started going to the gym, didn't you, Alex?
I did,
You noticed? Have you been happier since you started going to the gym?
I suppose.
Like what have you noticed? Any positive changes in your life?
I just
When
feel
did you
better.
start going to the gym?
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks
ago.
ago. You started going with Alex, or started going with Jake. Any positive? Nothing. Like,
Do you feel good?
Are you healthier? Do you feel healthier? Do you feel stronger? More
I suppose.
energetic? You
More
suppose.
energetic? I'm
what the
never
fuck? Answer
energetic.
these questions.
I'm never
What is this? I
energetic.
suppose. Like, never more energetic. What you're supposed to. Do you feel okay? What are symptoms? Because you know when you work out, you boost your testosterone, right? Like your testosterone levels increase. This might be a new feeling to you. What are some symptoms of increased confidence? You know, hair growth. Have your balls gotten bigger?
Is that a symptom of working out?
Does that happen? Did Jake?
Your balls get bigger when
Your
you
balls
work out.
swell up.
Dude, that's
it's
what
a side
happened to
effect.
me. I feel ready. Dude, are there hot girls at your gym, Alex?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
How many?
predominantly young people. So
Yeah, no. Not Powerhouse, you know, you get mixed group. There's one girl looking at me, Powerhouse, the gym.
She was looking at you.
she was
Yeah,
looking
she
past
kept
you.
looking back. Yeah, she's probably like the thing is like again my insecurity. Like it's like why would it like even if a girl was looking, I would think she wasn't looking at me because I'm like there are far better options to be looking at.
That's
at
when
this
you
gym.
smile, and if she smiles back, then that's when you make your move.
Is that true, Jake? Should I make? Is that what should be the approach? I smile, and if she smiles back, well, she just is being polite.
Don't make it a creepy smile, but
What do you think, Jake?
I think you got to immediately stick a finger up the puss.
Damn.
That-
Immediate,
that
at
is a
Powerhouse
power
at the
move.
gym right
Power
there.
move and the power.
Dude,
Don't let her
you ever
get
see
away.
those public sex videos? How do people
Kidding
get
me,
away
look
with
at
that?
they
It's
probably
probably scripted.
No, like there's times where it's like they're at like a football stadium. How are the police not fucking storming that motherfucker? and,
like
like
because the
dr-
police
police aren't
watching
everywhere.
everybody
Is it
every
scripted
fucking
or they
hour.
get
Police
They're
aren't
recording.
everywhere.
they're recording. What?
What?
did you
I
say?
said the police aren't everywhere.
Oh,
Exactly, like,
okay.
police can't watch
They're not
you
at
every
a
fucking
football
second.
stadium when a game's being played.
I don't
What,
know.
you
Where
think
the
they-
fuck did they
What,
go?
you think
The ones where they
police
get caught,
officers
those
gonna be,
are
like,
the ones you
watching
don't end
every
up
person?
watching.
Huh?
They're gonna be like watching people like for
I
trying to
guess-
fuck. Like, what do you?
Well, you know, police.
I think
it is a
stand out,
crime.
but-
I doubt that.
Like,
I
dude,
doubt that it's
everybody would
constantly
be.
on
There would be like
somebody's mind.
the fucking the sports player. Like if it was a football game, like when I say football, I mean like soccer. If it was the fucking players would be watching that shit. Everybody would know that it's going on. Like, but yeah, no, yeah. Jake was telling me there was this one girl that's got a wagon.
Wagon?
Black girl, was it?
Hmm.
You know who we're talking about?
He mentioned it. I didn't. I
You
didn't.
Oh,
notice it.
he's never seen it. I thought he goes with you. Do you go with him all the time, or have you
Every
gone by
time.
yourself?
Every time. Why would I go by myself when I've got? I gotta keep him in check.
I have a question. If there was a day Jake, let's say Jake was sick,
Alex would not
I
go.
don't
would
get
you
sick.
go?
Jake is the only limiting factor here. I could be going.
Oh.
I could be going 7 days a week.
You
all
could be
right?
go. Why don't you go 7 days a week?
I don't want to.
Ah!
Why don't you go 7 days a week?
Huh?
Why don't you go 7 days a
I'm
week?
gonna go 7. But watch me. I'll go 7 days this
All
week.
right.
I'm the 2 for 2, baby.
I hear you don't have faith in me. You think you think
Oh,
in 3
yeah.
months I'm not going to be at the gym?
Yeah. Did I say I either told this to Jake or I told this to you in the call?
You said it behind my back, I believe. Is
No, I said it. I said it. I said it to
You
your
said it
face.
to me.
I said, didn't I say in the call? I said I have no faith in you, Alex.
Yeah, look at me. I guess.
No, you were in it.
When?
It was what was the last time I was in the Discord? Was that Saturday?
What-
No,
I
it's 2
think
days ago.
Was it 2 days ago?
Yeah.
I don't seem to remember.
Okay. Well, okay. Maybe I told it to Jake, but no, I have said that. Yeah, I don't think. Well, especially you, Alex. I have no faith in you.
why is that?
I think you lack willpower. Maybe you can prove me wrong.
He's coming around, John. Give him a chance.
Mm,
People change. Maybe they
the
don't.
real test would be if Jake stopped going.
Oh.
Would I continue going?
I don't know.
that's a
Jake,
real
let me.
test.
Well, I guess Jake's answer. I think it'd be if Alex. Say Alex called you sick, saying I can't go. Jake, I'm sick. Well, didn't he with his wisdom teeth? Because
There was a day. There
And
was
you
a
still
day,
went?
There was a day last week where you couldn't go, and I just went by myself.
Well,
Oh,
Alex, the only reason I talk about you behind your back is because you're not there. You're not everywhere I'm talking about. I would say it to your face gladly.
Mm.
Like I remember, I was pinging Jake when I was talking shit behind his back.
We did try to get you in.
We
there when
tried
were
to get you.
talking.
I tried to get you to defend yourself, Jake. What were you doing that day? What were you doing Saturday night? It was around midnight.
Saturday night.
Was it Saturday?
Oh, I was.
Or is it Friday?
I was.
No, it's
first I was
Saturday.
First I was with Nick, and then I was with Dusty.
Good old Dusty.
Dusty's a friend of the show. And so is Nick. Nick's not. No, fuck Nick. Nick's not a friend of the show.
What's wrong with Nick?
Is he a white nationalist? I don't want to slander or libel.
I don't believe so.
Up in the air. Debatable.
I have no indication.
This is Nick Jr. Frisk. Good friend of the show.
Mhm.
We
Am I
might
supposed
have
to
him.
get that?
I don't know what you just
Junior
said.
Frisk.
Nick Jr. Frisk. Is
We're
this-
throwing him off our scent, Jake. You're fucking it up.
Yeah. Shit.
But yeah, no.
Nick Jr.
All right, that's what you did. Yeah, but no, didn't you get the pings?
Yeah. No, I mean I got him later. I didn't get him when I
You
didn't
see?
notice him.
So I was trying to. See. The only reason I ever talk about you guys behind your back is because you guys never join. You guys are never there when I'm talking about you.
It's never anything positive.
I make
behind the
myself
back.
scared.
What do you mean? I've said good things about Alex.
Name one good thing you said about
Yeah,
Alex
name
behind
one
the
good
back.
thing right now.
Oh shit.
Oh, shit.
Well,
He's a good AV guy.
Appreciation right about now.
I'll start saying good things about you guys.
Oh, thanks.
Wait, no,
I'll
I was
start.
defending you. Remember what was it? Joey was saying we should override Jake's vote, and I said
Oh,
no.
Yeah, he did
No,
say that.
I defended you, Jake.
Joey was being Joey. We were talking about changing the name.
Joey's a
Joey-
friend of the show.
Joey decided on the other name, and he said we were talking. We were all for it. We weren't against it, but we knew you would be. And Joey was just like, "Why? Why does it matter?" He was just firm. Why does it matter?
He was
Just do
saying
what you
since it
want.
was
It's
3 to
2
1,
yeah.
we could override. And I said no. Every vote, every change we make has to
Yeah.
be unanimous. And
So
and
John
beca-
did stick up.
I
I'm
stuck
gonna
up.
have to put my son in his place.
All right. And with that, is it 1:30?
1:30. It's 11.
No.
Oh, you're talking about the
123.
All right, that's good
That's
enough.
good enough.
recording.
Good
All right, guys, we're done kicking this
Bye-bye.
motherfucking mule.
Yeah.
This was IFM. IFM.
IFM.
I don't even know the name
Oh
of my fucking
shit.
show.
IBM.
Yeah.
We haven't even
IBM
recorded this.
podcast.
Has it been? Did we?
It hasn't even been recorded.
Oh my goodness.
The great meme of it all. Are we done?
Right now.